Abusia Honorable Isaac Adongo Bolgatanga Central. Abusia we every Honorable Afenyo Markins MP basa. Abusia were turning into pieces. Watch no. In fact, what na school. In fact, watch no. Abusia yanko nafi. Odia yankoshe. Yankohwe ni wakai. Nafi yinti ni wakatre. Wakai mra on the floor of Parliament. One fan nyagro. Or blast wutu. What na school 1-on-1. Nyasem ketwa. Abusia yankohwe mra.
Yes. Some people cannot show us a completed functioning hospital. All they have are uncompleted projects and at various stages of completion. We have been hearing various stages of completions till 2017. When are you going to complete them? Of course, Baomia Bakun uncompleted projects, baby. But Mr. Speaker, when you leave an economy that is struggling to pay its debt, you want us to invite you to a banquet? An economy where your debt strategy was to borrow recklessly, default in payment, and declare bankruptcy. Do you want the president to come smiling when he's delivering this gloomy picture that you have given him? If that amounts to lamentation, then so be it, because you left him an economy that can only be lamented upon. But Mr. Speaker, when you have an economy where ab initio from day one, everywhere you turn are debts, you take an economy which already has been restructured, and you need to find 280 billion Ghana cedis from day one. Of course, you can only lament. You cannot be praising and be singing tunes. But Mr. Speaker, when you inherit an economy where every week, you have to borrow and pay a debt of 6.5 billion a week, certainly that is not the type of economy you expect the president to come and be clapping hands for. But Mr. Speaker, when you inherit an economy where ECG, after all the tariff increases, where people buy even credit, and they get home and they are afraid to slot their card, because immediately you put the card in, the credit, you want the president to come here and clap for you for that type of economy. And on top of that, you are still owing 68 billion Ghana cedis. Are you not scared that you left this type of economy for His Excellency? If His Excellency appears at a time when Cocoa Board is owing 3.25 billion, 32.5 billion, and already has commitments of about 21 billion, cumulatively 55 billion is what you left for him. This is not a tea-making party. And you want him to come here and be clapping for you. And when he tells the people of Ghana, this is the economy you have left, you said that is lamentation. Mr. Speaker, if you pass through ECG, there is debt. Cocoa Board, debt. Government of Ghana, the Treasury in the Ministry of Finance. In fact, I think Atufosi may have to convert that ministry into a debt-paying ministry. Because every day, whether he has job to do or not, every Thursday, he must go to the Bank of Ghana and auction to be able to raise money to refinance your mess. And you are here holding press conferences for creating the mess that he's trying to clean for you. I heard my good friend at the back that was saying that it is scary. You have given us a caricature of an economy. What to fear in our economy is the type of picture you have created for us. And when His Excellency says that, you say that is lamentation. Mr. Speaker, they gave us a lamentable economy, and that is the only state of the nation that His Excellency can speak to. But Mr. Speaker, when you have a group of people who have been so reckless to the point of finding it difficult to understand, and when you decide to put a stop to their recklessness, they call you a terminator. Mr. Speaker, unfortunately for them, the man who inherited their mess is a ruthless terminator. Mr. Speaker, John Mahama is a terminator of ghosts at NSA. Mr. Speaker, His Excellency John Dramama came to terminate your mess just here, the 58 million hole that you left for him. Mr. Speaker, His Excellency came to terminate corruption. He came to terminate the waste in the economy. He came to terminate the rental of private jet that you were so accustomed to. Mr. Speaker, we have a president who terminated all the wrongs that had occasioned the management of our economy. The destruction and collapse of our banks have been terminated by His Excellency. You should be praising him for terminating the messy economy that you left for him. And we are now on the path to a proper growth that is inclusive and that will create jobs for our people. And you should be praising His Excellency for that foresight. Mr. Speaker, we have a country where our colleagues, they borrow to the extent that every corner where they were giving Susu loans, they were there. Susu loans, they were interested. In fact, Kojo Oppong Nkrumah, I remember you were the information minister when you were trying to educate me on what is called samurai bond, panda bond, century bond. Mr. Speaker, these are the people. They were experts in bonds. When you ask Kojo, he said, oh, this is samurai bond. It is in Japan. They knew every corner where they were giving loans. Panda bond. Kojo, are they still giving the panda bonds? They said something was called century. Mr. Speaker, there was actually a bond called century bond. Century bond. Mr. Speaker, Baomia Bako bonds baby. But what is even painful is that Omubobusian Omuntia or Fanunu Wajindi, they don't pay. Theirs is Takashi debt management record. Borrow recklessly, default in payment, issue to whom it may concern, and declare bankruptcy. And the descendants of this type of government are here holding press conferences. Holding press conferences. I have seen my leader is here. You should lead your team to a Futu to find a river where they will wash off their sins before they come back here. There was a musician who said, Muma me supporting seminar na mi jam hu fin with them. There are the people there. A Futu, I'm sure you have a seat there. Take them there and go and wash your sins. Because what you did is not acceptable anywhere in the world. Mr. Speaker, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is the savior of our economy. Mr. Speaker, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has brought the good news. The 24-hour economy is coming. Mr. Speaker, agric mechanization centers are coming to create proper agriculture production for our economy. Mr. Speaker, women are jubilating because we are bringing the Women's Development Bank to provide tailored credit to our women. Mr. Speaker, our Zongo women are waiting for the Soyoya Fund to provide credit to our women in the Zongo communities. We are not going to set up a Zongo Development Fund or a Zongo Development Ministry that will have better impact in the Zongo communities than you have been able to think about. Mr. Speaker, our youth are unemployed and we are very clear what we want to do. We are in a generation of technology and we want to bring the 1 million coders program where our children are going to be taught to develop a career in ICT. The artificial intelligence that is passing us by will be arresting them and bringing it to our youth here. Machine learning will be part of our work and data coding will be one of our things that we'll be doing in our country. Don't forget that we built the data center. We built the digital center and we are going to do business process outsourcing to recruit over 1,000 of our youth into ICT in addition to the coding program. Mr. Speaker, for your information, today, your Minister for Transport is in Rwanda, learning best practices to come and formalize Okada transport to help you manage your traffic. That is the government that we are working on. And you need to understand that your mess, it is because of Okada, Ghanaians showed you the way and gave you a deficit of 1.7 million votes. You have still not learned your lessons. But Mr. Speaker, there is only one group of people who are capable of turning this country around. We are the descendants of His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings. We are the only group of people who has managed the most difficult economic era in the history of our country. In 1983, when Ghanaians arrived here from Nigeria, and we couldn't even find food to eat, the descendants of the NDC, Jerry John Rawlings, fixed the mess and will turn this country around. And we will do just that now. And we will make sure by the time His Excellency John Dramani Mahama leaves office, it will be very clear to you that it is not how long you stay in power, but it's the impact you make once you're in power. And that he will do what you couldn't do in 8 years, he will do it in 4 years and even more. And that is what we are focused on delivering to the people of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, we are beginning to build the next generation of leaders for our country. Just look around the ministers we have appointed. you can see our focus on youth and our focus on women. And the aim is to build the next generation of leaders, not just for the NDC, but for our country. And that if you are a young man and you want to aspire for the future, the best place to come is the NDC, because NDC gives opportunities to the youth. It is only in NDC that people like Sami Jefi will be given very huge appointments. It is only in NDC that Basentale will be leading the youth of our country. It is only in NDC that Opariado would be a minister, a cabinet minister. Mr. Speaker, a minister is a cabinet, the cabinet now, sorry, a minister. The important thing is that when you were in government, Kojo was about the youngest man in your government. Kojo, come to this side, because we will give you more opportunities as the National Democratic Congress. Mr. Speaker, at this point in time, it is safe to say that when His Excellency John Dramani Mahama appeared in this house, a new dawn had fallen on our country. We had moved away from the kind of economic management that was based on sloganeering. We will digitalize. Today, can you show me your digital blueprint after 8 years? Where is your digital blueprint? Your digitalization was in the head of one man roaming around. What if a car crashes his head? That is the kind of digitalization you were running. Mr. Speaker, we were in a country where, Mr. Speaker, we are in a country where Ghana card actually captures the data of a human being. And when the human being himself appears, they say, where is your Ghana card? What type of digitalization is that? That you digitalize, take my biodata on a card, and when I appear, I'm not important, but the card that is lying at home is important. Go to your bank today and not carry your Ghana card. We'll make sure that there is proper digitalization, so that when you appear at the bank, you can access your digital data and be processed, and that is digitalization. That is going to be spearheaded by a blueprint that will inform our actions on digitalization. Not a walk-alone digitalization in the head of one man called Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.